Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Law Meets Life. Let's imagine you're a cartoonist working for a major news portal in Nepal. One day, you're asked to draw a cartoon about the ongoing controversy involving the Constitutional Council. First of all, what is Constitutional Council, right? To understand, you turn to the Constitution of Nepal. And you see that the council is a body responsible for recommending appointments of officials to constitutional bodies in Nepal, and that it has 5 members: the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Chairperson of the National Assembly, and the leader of the opposition party of the House of Representatives. So you ask, what's the problem? What's the controversy? But then you realize something important. 2 of these 5 seats are vacant: the chairperson of the National Assembly and the leader of the opposition party of the House of Representatives, because of which the council hasn't been able to function for quite some time. That is, the appointment of chairpersons for constitutional bodies is being delayed. So as a cartoonist, you decide to depict this in your work. You draw a cartoon with 3 monkeys. And those are the chairperson and members present in the council: the Prime Minister, Chief Justice, and the Speaker, with each covering their ears, eyes, and mouth, suggesting the deadlock they're facing. You hand it over the cartoon to your publisher and it gets published. And then suddenly, next thing you know, you're dragged into the court. You're accused of committing contempt of court. And what's the claim? That your cartoon has undermined the trust or faith of public towards the judiciary because you have portrayed the Chief Justice as a monkey. So now the court is posed with this legal question as to whether or not to make you liable for contempt. To do so, it begins to examine the facts and laws, of course. It looks into the Constitution and finds that yes, Supreme Court as a court of record does have the power to punish you for contempt. But here's the tricky part. There is no existing law that entails the elements of contempt or prior guideline to test what constitutes contempt. So the court had to resort to the general principles surrounding contempt of court to determine whether you're liable in this particular case. And in doing so, it also laid guidelines for future. And it said that only if the act amounts to the judicial function and it obstructs in the process of dispensation of justice will it amount to be a contempt. And applying those rules to the facts of this case, to the facts of your case, the court said that the Chief Justice, although being a member of the Constitutional Council, is not performing a judicial role in that capacity. And the council itself is also not a judicial body, but rather an administrative one that makes recommendations. So you did not interfere with the legal proceedings of the court. So hence your acts did not amount to contempt of court. So you're not held liable. And the court came to an important conclusion that not every criticism that involves a judge or a chief justice amounts to contempt of court. Thank you.